Hello, so today I want to talk about my clairaudience. Now, I'm doing this series to help you to better understand how your psychic senses might also work. Now, I'm not saying that your psychic senses are going to manifest like mine do, but this might give you a better understanding of how they could manifest. So this is why I'm sharing my experiences of my psychic senses. And like I said, today we're going to be talking about clairaudience, or how my clairaudience manifests. So let's get into this right now. Okay, so like I said, clairaudience is a psychic sense. It's an energetic sense, okay? And to better understand this, you have to understand something else, which is we are energetic beings, right? So we are made of energy. We are energy, okay? So not only are our physical bodies made of energy, but our energetic bodies are energy, okay? So yeah, I know it's a lot to swallow, but that's what it is. We are energy, okay? And as energetic beings, right, without a physical form, we can't talk necessarily, right? So how are we going to communicate, right? We're going to communicate through our energetic senses. We send and receive energy through our energetic senses, okay? Now, just because we're in physical form doesn't mean that we stop using these energetic senses. In fact, we still continue to use them. We just don't pay as much attention to them because we're hyper-focused on our physical experience, okay? But you'll notice that they still manifest in many different ways. And the more that you pay attention to your psychic senses, the stronger they will get. But you've heard of things like women's intuition or my gut feeling sense. And these are your psychic senses. We're just blaming it on other things, okay? So we do use these psychic senses. And keep in mind that they are all at varying levels. And this is perfectly normal, okay? So my clairaudience may be stronger than my clairvoyance, whereas somebody else may have stronger clairvoyance rather than their clairaudience, okay? So that's okay. They're all at varying levels, and this is perfectly normal. And this is what makes you you. This is what makes you unique, okay? So trying to compare your psychic abilities to somebody else is only going to drive you crazy, because it's not going to look and feel and sound and whatever like somebody else's, because we all have varying levels of strength to each of our psychic abilities. Does this make sense? I'm hoping that I'm making sense here. So yeah, the best thing that you can do to learn how to develop your psychic senses is by paying attention to your own psychic abilities and noticing how they manifest for you, okay? Which is why I'm sharing this for you, right? So you can understand how they manifest for me, and it might help you to notice how they manifest for you too. Okay, so let's get into clairaudience, all right? All right, so clairaudience for me, it manifests, yes, in my ear area, but inside of my mind space. Now, you've heard me use that term before, mind space. This is just your mental awareness inner space, okay? Inside your head, basically, okay? But the way that I hear things can also be exterior as well. So I'm not saying that it is exterior. I'm not saying that I'm hearing voices outside necessarily, but it can sound like that. It can sound like it's in and around the ear area, okay? And so the way that I hear it, and say, if I'm teaching a class, this is when I hear it the most, okay? So when I am teaching a class and I am listening, you'll hear me sometimes shut my eyes or turn my head to the side to listen, and I'll hear sentences. I'll hear things that I need to say next. Now, the trick about this is that when you first start noticing these things, you're going to think it's your own internal voice. You're going to think it's your own internal dialogue, right? And so this is the difficulty, is learning how to discern between your own internal dialogue and that information that you're receiving, that guidance that you're receiving. So I have learned to discern the difference, but yeah, they still sound the same to me. So it is tricky. But anyway, so like I said, as I'm listening in class and I'm hearing what to say next, I'm waiting for that stream of information. I'm waiting for that sentence and how the sentence is necessarily put together and how I would say it. So for me, my clairaudience and my claircognizance work together a lot, especially when I'm teaching. So for my claircognizance, I will get like a download or a packet of information, then which I will have to sort out and put into sentences. Whereas with my clairaudience, which is a little more efficient, I will get that full sentence of what to say, and I will get a sentence at a time. So sometimes the sentences will come a little fast, and also with claircognizance, sometimes I'll get that packet of information really fast, and I won't have time to discern that information before the next packet of information comes. So yeah, it can get a little bit confusing when I'm trying to say what I need to say in that moment of whatever I'm receiving. So yeah, sometimes you have to say, slow down. I'm trying to figure out what to say and how to say it. So give me a second to process and say that. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of how it works for me. And like I said, it is hard to discern between your own internal voice, your own internal dialogue, and that of guidance. So I really want you to check out my other video on this, which I will share at the end, more about clairaudience and how that works so that you can better understand how to discern between your own internal voice and that of guidance. But anyway, I'm hoping that you're beginning to understand how your psychic senses can work. And again, stop comparing yourself to others. Just don't. Don't compare yourself to others. Just take notes. Does this sound or feel or whatever like my psychic senses? And if it does, then yes, pay attention to how they do what they do, because you can take notes and figure out how to strengthen your own. But if it doesn't sound or feel it or whatever like your own psychic senses, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it being like that person. That person is unique and different than you, and that's perfectly okay, all right? The point is to focus on your own psychic senses and how they work, all right? Now remember, the more that you focus on your own psychic senses and your own development of them, the stronger they will get. The more you pay attention to them, the more you observe how they work, the stronger they will get, okay? The more you pay attention to other people's psychic senses and things like that, the more disappointed you're going to get, right? So stop doing that. Again, pay attention to your own, the stronger they will get. The more you become like that scientific observer, how do my psychic senses work? And observing them, the stronger they're going to get. The more you pay attention to how they work and you follow them, yeah, that's going to even triple their strength, okay? Because when you follow that guidance and you trust that guidance that you are receiving, then it's going to get even stronger, okay? So do those things. Anyway, I wanted to share that video with you, more about clairaudience and how to discern, so check that out here, all right? Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will have 2 more in this series coming up. And I also have a whole other series coming up that I'm really excited about, where I will be interviewing people about their psychic abilities and how they work. So yeah, this is going to be so exciting, because then it'll give you even more examples of how your psychic abilities might work also. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so very much for watching.